Hello and good morning. It's time to sharpen your axe. It's time to sharpen your leadership axe. Well, that's a bit of a tricky one for pronunciation. But this is Leadership Monday, and it's time to deliver to you your nugget to do leadership right today. Every week, we meet to take a nugget or two to help you do leadership as it should be done to help you become an effective leader. And today, I want to say to you, it's time to sharpen your axe. It's time to sharpen your leadership axe. You must sharpen your axe regularly. You don't wait until the axe is dull before you sharpen it. That is what a wise person does. You don't wait until you begin to have challenges in your leadership assignment before you do the needful to ensure that you are always on top tail. You are always very well primed to deliver on your assignment. There is an important counsel that comes from, a favorite scripture of mine, Ecclesiastes 10 and verse 10. And what he said, if the axe is dull and he does not sharpen its edge, then he would have to apply more strength. Okay. But wisdom to sharpen the axe helps him succeed with less effort. I just read the Amplified Version, but many of us are used to the King James Version that says, but wisdom is profitable to direct. What it means is that it is wisdom to sharpen the axe before it is dull, all right, or when it is dull. Otherwise, using a dull axe will mean that you're applying a lot more strength than you should apply. And that's what I want you to think about today, that this is usually the lot of people who are already in leadership positions, who have been in leadership positions for a couple of years, maybe who are even experienced leaders who have been into leadership for many years. But a time comes when you find yourself beginning to struggle. A time comes when you find that in spite of all your efforts, all right, your results are not showing up. Your results are not showing in your people. Your people appear not to be responsive. Your results are not showing in terms of those targets, those KPIs, and you are worried. You used to be a high flyer. You used to be well regarded in the company or in the organization. But, recently it's been a tug of war. And what you've tried to do is to double your efforts. What you've tried to do is to apply more strength. What you've tried to do is to do more of this and do more of that and do more of that. All right. What you've tried to do is to breathe down heavier on your people to make them feel the pressure. That's what some leaders would do. That's what some would say, that maybe, I've become a bit too relaxed. And so I need to pile on the pressure. No, you don't need to pile on the pressure. The problem is not the pressure. The problem, you need to identify what the problem is first. The problem is that your leadership axe is dull. Your leadership axe is dull. And, that is seen in different ways. If you're having now to repeat yourself, okay, more than you used to do to your people, your leadership axe is dull. If you're having to struggle to resolve problems that used to be a piece of cake for you, your leadership axe is dull. If you're having, you are having to really work on yourself, to motivate yourself, all right, to apply yourself to your leadership responsibility or your core duty, all right, your leadership axe is dull. If your passion is no longer there, all right, you used to be very excited at taking on challenges. It used to just your adrenaline, shoots up whenever you face challenges. But now you are finding, big deal. Your leadership axe is dull. If your people used to be excited before you say one thing, they've already moved. They used to be very committed to you, but now, it's just not been the same. Your leadership axe is dull. Your leadership axe is dull. And there are many manifestations of that. The point is, and this is the nugget for you today, you need to step back from time to time as a leader to sharpen your axe. To sharpen your axe. So I'm asking you, is your axe dull? Are you even aware of it? Is your axe dull? Are you struggling, all right, to deliver? Now, notice that this only applies to those who already are good leaders. All right. Notice that this applies only to those, who are good leaders, who have had a record of doing leadership right. It doesn't apply to novices. It doesn't apply to newbies, who are just learning how to lead. Okay. So the issue is that, yes, some people start very well. Yes, some people started and they kept improving, in this game. And suddenly things began to go the other way around. Suddenly things began to go the other way around. Yes, it happens. All right. No one will always be at the point where they are firing on all cylinders, except they take time. From time to time, they pull back to service their engine. No engine performs, optimally all the time. From time to time, you have to pull the car in or shut down the machine so that you can conduct servicing. And that's part of what you do. And in the process, you may need to, change your oil. You may need to change your plugs. If you're talking about cars, you may need to tune, certain valves and stuff like that. That's what it takes to get the engine back performing, all right, at its optimum. And that is what is applicable with leaders as well. So is that something you do? Or you never take time, to just cool off, to relax, and to re-examine your conduct? All right. I remember that from time to time, Jesus used to step back. All right. He would just pull out and nobody will see him. All right. He goes to pray at times. At times, I believe he just goes to meditate. At times, I believe he goes to review his, operations. All right. To see where impact is being made, to see where he may be overlooking things. And that's how he gets himself to perform at the optimum. So those are some of the things that you need to do. How do you sharpen your axe? From time to time, one, you need to be conscious of the need to sharpen your axe, to re-examine yourself, all right, to pull back. And you can, you want to assess how well you're still doing. Okay, whether you are still getting the right results, making the right impact, mastering the right influence with your people. That way, whether at what level you are still performing as a leader. And so you may need from time to time to take a break, to go on a retreat, to rethink, your approach. You may need to review the results that you have been getting. How do your results today compare to the results you used to get before? And when we talk about results as a leader, that we're not just talking about those numbers. We're also talking about what impact you are making on your people. That perhaps is more important than any other thing. So you are thinking also of the commitment of your people. Are your people still behind you solidly? If your axe is sharp, all right, your people will commit strongly to you. Okay, so that's one other way to appraise how well you're doing. Now, one of the things that people don't understand when it comes to sharpening the axe is that, you see, the act of sharpening the axe is like the act of removing certain layers of maybe debris that have already accumulated on the edges, on the once sharp edges of the axe. So many times, sharpening the axe is not about adding things, it's not about piling pressure, it's about looking out for the things that you need to stop doing. Usually, it's about, and that's the problem that many have. They are looking at what more should I do when they should be asking, what should I remove? All right, because you have added many things. Sharpening the axe is like pruning, all right. If you are a farmer, the farmer knows that if you plant tomatoes, for example, okay, from time to time you need to prune. Pruning is taking things away that are just growing, that have no purpose, all right, but they have the effect of undermining the ability of the plant to produce a huge harvest. So it's about taking away, it's not about adding. It's not about adding. That's how you get the tomato plant to operate at its optimum, to deliver, a very huge harvest. And it reminds me of what Jesus said in John 15, verses 1 to 2. It said, I am the vine dresser. My father is the husbandman. And what does the husbandman do? He said, any branch in me that is not producing fruit, he takes it away. But every branch that is producing fruit, what does he do? He said, he prunes it. He prunes it so that it can produce more fruit. He prunes it so that it can produce more fruit. That's what sharpening the leadership edge axe does. That is what sharpening the edge of the axe does. All right. One of the ways that you can do that also is by seeking coaching and mentoring. All right. So from time to time, if you have a coach, all right, as a standard, that somebody that you can always go back to, refer to, get help, for assessment of your leadership effectiveness, that will help you. Your coach would be able to point out the areas where attention is required, the things that you need to stop doing, and maybe some things that you used to do before, but somehow, activity has crowded them out. They have changed your approach, and that explains why you are now struggling. The same person who used to be a high flyer. All right. So my word and counsel to you today is, it's time to sharpen your axe. It's time to sharpen your axe. Be wise. Don't wait until you start struggling. Don't wait to expose yourself to non-performance. Don't wait until you become a shadow of yourself as a leader before you take the necessary steps. It's time to sharpen your axe. And for those who may be interested, I have a program like that. It's a coaching program. It's called Sharpen Your Axe. Sharpen Your Axe. You see the link in the description, and you can reach out to me if you are interested. Notice it is more for executives and senior leaders, those who have been there, before, and suddenly find themselves, struggling. Okay, so that's my word, my counsel, my charge on leadership today. It's Leadership Monday. We meet here. It's a bit early today, but all the same, if you're a subscriber, I believe that you will still have the opportunity to listen to this. And if you are not and you're watching, please go ahead and subscribe and check out my other videos. They would be surely a blessing to you. Here, it's about what we need to do leadership right. And it's about leadership or nurturing leaders based on truth. Nurturing leaders based on truth is the truth that I have shared with you this morning. Ecclesiastes 10:10. Once again, it says, if the axe is dull, if your leadership axe is dull, and you do not sharpen its edge, then you would have to apply more strength. But if you have the wisdom to sharpen the edge, then it helps you to succeed. It helps you to succeed. So your continuing success is in your ability to identify when your axe is getting dull and to withdraw, sharpen it. All right. Put yourself back right there and continue, to perform, and indeed to perform at a higher level. That's wisdom. That's what is expected of you as a wise leader. And I hope that you receive that counsel today and you take the requisite steps. Once again, my name remains Olatunji Shobodu, and it's been a pleasure coming to you this morning with Leadership Monday. Join me on Thursday. On Thursday, it's Leadership in 30 minutes, and we spend a lot more time basically exploring very important issues on leadership. For those who have joined me this morning, kudos, and I look forward to you joining again on Thursday. And please don't forget, give feedback. Don't forget, give feedback. And if you want me to speak on any subject, or if you have any questions, just indicate them in the comment area. And at subsequent, broadcasts, I will address those questions. Enjoy a wonderful week. Receive the grace of God to lead right and authentic. God bless you. Bye-bye.